What's up, everybody? This is Chris Reacts. I've decided it's time to bury the hatchet with Matthew McConaughey. It was 2006. There was this award show. I don't even remember what the award was. We're both getting it together on the stage. He said I stole the show. Everyone thought he stormed off. He said some stuff about me in an interview. I don't care. I'm going to react to him anyway. No. This clip is called Matthew McConaughey Discusses His Religious Beliefs. And I don't know nothing about it. I haven't seen this clip. I don't even know what Matthew McConaughey's religious beliefs are. But I want to know, because I want to know what people are thinking about. For those of you who don't know, everybody, my name is Curtis Childs, and my other channel is called Off the Left Eye, where we dive really deeply into what I think is the top-notch theology in the world, which is that of Emanuel Swedenborg. Check that out. We got a lot of videos there. That's the perspective from which I'm going to be watching this video. Let's go.
We watched Contact again, a great movie about aliens. That character that you played, I kind of feel like there's some of you in that guy. Am I wrong here? You are religious in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he's religious. Absolutely. I want to hear what that means. What does it mean you're religious?
And I want to bring this up in this day and age when people go, no, I'm not religious, I'm only spiritual. You know what the Latin root of religion is?
Latin, baby. You know, Swedenborg wrote in Latin. You don't get that? I have to explain that joke?
Re-legare. And legare means to bind together. Re means again. Well, in a world that's saying I'm only spiritual because I want unity, that's exactly what religion means. We bastardized the meaning of it over time, and we've excluded people, and we've corporatized it and such. But yes, I am religious. You know, I had written stories. I'd written a college paper called John Wayne Goes West, and it was about how can you be a believer in a world of science? And I remember writing things like during the making of that movie, like science is the practical pursuit of God. The two are not exclusive. They dance together. They go together. Belief and science, and I never saw those as contradictions. And that's part of the reason I attacked that role and became a part of that movie. I wanted to play a person that had that point of view of a believer in a world of science.
Science is the way to seek God. For Swedenborg, learning about the physical world and everything about how it worked was not just like a stepping stone to the revelatory experiences that he had and then the spirituality he got from that. It was an indispensable foundation to it. So he can't talk about the form of heaven, for example, without talking about the way the human body works, because Swedenborg was an anatomist. That's probably maybe what he was best known for. So when he talks about the way that different kinds of angels, which are just human beings who have died, interact with each other and what functions and how heaven works overall, he says that is just the same as the human body. And the more you know about the human body, the more you know about how heaven works. And so it is with everything in the world. The more that you understand about liquids and solids and gases, if you understand that one equates to the other, the more you know about truth and how truth progresses through the human mind. The more you understand how a tree grows and develops, the more you can understand about spiritual, in particular, the process of regeneration. The way that God set it up is that the physical world gives you the concrete metaphors to understand the spiritual things you can't see. And that's not just because that would be handy. It's because everything in the physical world somehow, and I don't understand what the exact process is, comes into being through the spiritual world. So you study the physical world, you can understand the spiritual world. It doesn't mean you have to if you study the physical world, but it is a great tool if you've got your mind toward spirituality, which is, I guess, what he's saying. Sorry, religion, not spirituality, religion. That's why he's saying he wanted to do this video. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, it's a confusing role for a lot of people if someone is a believer and also a proponent of science, because they want to know, what are your literal beliefs? Like, are you taking the Bible at its literal word, or do you use it as some sort of a guidebook of the experiences of these people that lived thousands of years ago that have been translated from multiple different languages back to English? And is there wisdom in those translations? Is there wisdom in those original thoughts, these thousands of years of people contemplating and mulling on these things, and that so many have used these as a scaffolding for morals and ethics and for societies?
Sorry, can I cut in here, Matthew McConaughey? So Joe Rogan is saying, do you think the Bible's literally true? And I guess the why is science and religion in conflict? Because of the days of creation, and that's not how it happened. And then, the miracles that happen in there. That one thing is, do you think the Bible's literally true? And so the universe got created in that order in 7 days, and we didn't have all the stuff, it seems like. So that's one path. Do you want to go down that and like do the creation museum thing? Or do you want to go down this other path of the Bible is written by people a long time ago? They could have been on to something, but there's all kinds of noise that's happened in the translation and over time, but you can still get something out of it. So which one are you? Bon. I am the one in the middle, if you're asking me. This is the Swedenborg thing. This is the answer to that question. The religion pulls you to the Bible. Still, even in this world of science, the world has never been more sciencey, and the Bible has never been more, it has not been more widely distributed or widely read ever than it is now, because there's more human beings around the world, even though you might see some people in the West don't take it as seriously. Overall, it's a good time to be publishing Bibles, man. It's a good time to be selling those things. So, why? Why are people pulled to that? Because all that stuff I was telling you about before, remember how I said the more that you can look at how a tree develops, the more then you know about how the spiritual growth happens in a human being. The way that water is and everything is a picture of spiritual thing. The Bible is that in its most condensed, complete form. All of the knowledge of everything is in there. Yes, it is something that can give you wisdom to lead you on your way, but it's more than that. And it is done through this symbolic language of correspondences. So the days of creation ain't about how the universe was created, because that's relatively trivial in comparison to how you get recreated, how you go from the confusion of regular life into the happiness of the state of mind called heaven. That's what those days of creation are about. That's why no matter who you are, where you are, you pick it up and read those, that's relevant to your life. So taking the Bible more seriously, the Bible comments on my life at every moment, but yet, no, I don't believe it's literal. And not just because it's like in conflict with science, but because there's all kinds of things in there. Terrible actions taken by people that seem to be condoned by God. Not just like, I don't want that, so it's out. There's a very complex, full system for that. Read Emanuel Swedenborg's Secrets of Heaven from front to back, if you don't mind.
What?
Sorry. I know, Matthew, you were saying something. I'll get right back to you. I guess I'm still a little bit upset about, the falling out that we had. But sorry, I'm trying to be the bigger man here.
There's a lot of great truths that come out of the Bible. It has been interpreted and reinterpreted. It has been translated. It has been handed down. I, for myself, I don't know what to do in my daily life with the burning bush. I don't know what to do with that. I do know what to do with love your neighbor like yourself. I do know what to do with Matthew 6:22. If thy eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light. I do know what to do with some Proverbs that I can take into daily practice and go, I felt my life. I felt improvement. I felt success in my relationships, in my relationship with the day, with my career, by following that, by treating others how I wanted to be treated, the golden rule. So I take the practical stuff myself. And try to utilize it and pick out what can work for me.
Dude, I loved that. That was awesome. That is a great take on the Bible. To say, I don't know what to do with the burning bush. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to be a good person today. That bush. Moses was looking at the bush and it was on fire, but it's not consumed. He didn't know what to do with that, and he just says it. That's great. But there is really potent stuff in there, and he's living by it. Can't fault that. That's awesome, and it's well said, and it's honest, and it's true. What Swedenborg does is makes it so you do know what to do with the burning bush. It makes it so that you can see how the burning bush story is just as practical and relevant as love your neighbor as yourself. That actually the whole Bible, including creation story, burning bush story, parting of the Red Sea, is love your neighbor as yourself in all of its variety and complexity. That's absolutely the right mindset that Dr. McConaughey has. And Swedenborg allows us to take that mindset to the entire book. I really loved his take on it and the way he said it.
When you say you don't know what to do with the burning bush, like what do you mean by that?
I don't know what to do on a daily basis with the teaching of, and then he showed up as a burning bush, or the magic tricks, and I don't know what to do with, and Jesus healed everyone and he couldn't walk, and now he touched him and he can walk. I don't know what to do with that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to take that into my life and go, there's something useful and practical and healthy for you, Matthew, that you can practice there. So the magic that leans in towards, what we would call now more fantasy. I don't know what to do with that. There's philosophies, there's proverbs, and there's teachings that I think are very valid and very helpful, that we could all be reminded of, that are in the Bible, that I do find quite useful.
Useful, by the way. If he's filtering the Bible looking for what's useful in it, that's actually a very Jesus-centered way to do it. According to Swedenborg, everything is about usefulness. Usefulness, or the act of how can I take this truth, have it change my heart so that I do things that are helpful to people, that are healthy, as he put it, and are making people happy. That is what God urges us to do. That is the deepest desire of God's heart. So I'm telling you, that's useful, and usefulness is the foundation of heaven, man. Usefulness is heaven, the joy of usefulness. So that's so great. Well, the reason I like Swedenborg is it makes it all useful. Wow, I liked that a lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought Matthew McConaughey, he's probably going to say he's religious and just kind of stand back a little bit and say, well, I believe it, or this is just, it helps me in my life. But for him to get so detailed about how he approaches it, and he's doing it from love of usefulness, that was a great way to express engagement with religion. Of course, I find what he calls magic tricks, the Jesus healing stuff, I find that to be incredibly useful and moving and inspiring. I guess because I think about everything in terms of correspondences. So I see that as like, this is instructions on how to heal things in your own lives. Not heal things literally like I've fixed your medical condition, but this is about the same kind of love your neighbor is a healing of the meanness that we have in our hearts. That's curing that condition we have. All I'm saying is that was so cool. It was so genuine, and it really synced with how I think you should approach religion. So I'm back on the Matthew McConaughey train, man. This was great. Thank you, everyone, for reacting this with me. Go out there, grab what you can, have it be useful. Continue to pry in how can you make the rest of your religion serve that same love your neighbor as yourself, because that's the game. That's the whole game.